Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. It's April 24th, 2026. We're very glad you're with us this morning. All right, please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched careerusa.org to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon. If you see me in person, I always have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team, also known as the PIT crew, and you'll hear more about them in just a few minutes. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories as we have a landing because there's donuts here in the room. We'll then do the 30-second introductions for everybody who's here in the room, and then we'll get the 30-second introductions for those online. Then we'll share job leads if we have a recruiter on with us. Then we'll hear from the Interview Success Workshop, the practice interview team, and the career tip of the week, and then our main event about the top of the hour. So we'd like to start the meeting off with good news. Who is our landee? Come on down and tell us your name. Good story. Tell us your news. Grab the mic and just turn on the mic.
Good morning.
Yep, we'll sit back a little bit. Great.
Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Holmes, and I have landed. So my story began in mid-September last year as I left Southwest Airlines, and I believe I started coming here in late October. And so over that time, I've met a lot of people, expanded my network probably by 2x, maybe 3x, and learned a lot of things that as a hiring manager at Southwest, I have a whole new appreciation for. And so my opportunity came at D.R. Horton. Home building was not on my bingo card. However, as I interviewed, I really came to really enjoy the people I was meeting and the vision that the CIO articulated to me, who I'll be reporting to, was very compelling. And so right or wrong, I feel like maybe I joined this team because of some of the personalities, but what they're trying to do at D.R. Horton, again, is a very compelling story. I'll be taking the role of delivery lead, which is a very similar role to the one I had at Southwest. And so what I will be responsible for is ensuring and helping to mature the agile delivery of their delivery teams and overseeing the successful delivery of some of their important initiatives. And one of the first things I get to do when I land there, start next Wednesday, is to hire a Scrum Master. So I am happy to kind of pay it back to this community. So if you are a Scrum Master or you know of a Scrum Master, I would love to talk to them. And so that is my story. Is there anything else I need to cover?
How did you find the job?
Yes. So I know Judy is very fond of saying, networking. But this one, it was a cold apply. I found a position on LinkedIn. I applied to it, and a couple of days later, I got a call back. But that's not to say that networking wasn't helpful. Networking did open the doors to me at some other places that I applied to. And networking has also allowed me to connect people in my network to their opportunity. So I don't want to discount networking, but this one did come through the single percentage chance that people land. And sorry, I can't.
How long from the initial contact to the job offer?
So from the initial contact, that came on a Monday. I had the job offer. I got the initial job offer early on this Monday. So it was probably less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. So what bit of advice, what number one bit of advice would you offer to everybody?
Bit of advice. There's a few.
Okay.
Number one is take advantage of all the resources that this group, and I was also going to South Lake Focus Group, and also talking to some of the individuals here. There's a lot of resources here to take advantage. This is one of them. Walt Glass, thank you very much for some of the interviewing stuff that we went through. Terry Sullivan's LinkedIn group. There was definitely some good tips there to improve my visibility on LinkedIn and to get my story cohesive between resume and LinkedIn. And then accountability groups. Paul, there you are. Paul and Bindu, who's not here anymore, and obviously you, were very good in keeping me focused. But apart from my wife, who's being very encouraging, just my faith in God, and just knowing that He already had an answer for me, I just had to find it, and that really kept me grounded.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the donuts.
So hi, I'm Sally Bennix. I didn't land yet. However, Lindley Schroeder in my accountability group landed this week. And she's not here today to bring donuts because she's already in training. She starts Monday. Don't have a lot of details, but I know she follows Tony Bashara and his methodology for job search. And she built out an entire AI prompt that helped optimize her resumes and using jobscan.co to really make a strong presence. And she landed through cold applying. And that's what I know at this point. So keep your funnel full. Use all the techniques, not just one's going to make it, but use everything.
Great. All right. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other landings to announce?
Hey Jeff, this is Rosina. Good morning.
Yes.
No, not landing. I just have a question. Who was that speaking who just landed? And then how does he want a referral to be sent to him for a Scrum Master referral?
Okay. Hold on. Here he comes.
Sorry.
My name is Chris Holmes, and I will, in a moment, I'll jump on to the call and I'll drop my contact information into the chat.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And congratulations, Chris.
Thank you, Rody.
Thank you. All right. All right. If nobody else, whoops, going too far here. Whoop, back up. What would like to do now is everybody who's online, we've got 32 people online right now. If you will, open up the chat window, give us your name, the position you're looking for, give us 2 or 3 target companies we may be able to help you with. If you have companies that you have connections, please list those and give us your email, your LinkedIn address, your phone and city if you'd like. And that way we can try to help you. We'll get this chat out to everybody this afternoon so you can get a copy of the chat or you'll get a copy of it tomorrow and with all the details, and maybe you can help somebody else who's on the call. So we'll put 30 seconds on the clock to get started. All right, if you're still typing, still putting in your information, please put it in there. That'd be really appreciated. So to see how we can help you or you can help somebody else who's on the call today. All right, what you want to do now is get 30-second introductions for everybody who's here in the room. So if you will, come on down, grab the microphone, and come give your 30-second introductions.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Phil Elsner. I'm a senior project manager, PMP, degree in biomedical sciences, and lots of experience in making some order out of a bunch of chaos. Let me know if I can help you. I'm Phil Elsner.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is John Hamer. I'm a technical project manager, managing internal and external project teams that deliver systems and solutions in the network and telecom space that optimize companies' investments in technology. My target companies are Motorola, Cisco, and RTX. Let me know if I can help you. John Hamer.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Eric Nowak. I drive bottom line results by finding the truth in the data. I'm a senior program and project manager, focusing in on data and analytics and ERP type implementations. My name is Eric Nowak. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, y'all. My name is Tim Farrell. I'm an electrical design verification engineer. Seeking contacts. Well, I write computer programs and hardware description languages that verify that circuit models in a computer are error-free before the big money is spent to put them into silicon. This week, my target company is Lockheed Martin, BAE Systems, and Micron. I have connections at Raytheon, and my name is Tim Farrell.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Polly Dunn, the Senior Administrative Assistant. I specialize in office management, onboarding, and creating workflows that reduce stress and save time. I'm now seeking roles as office manager where I can bring strong organization into the company. And my name is Polly Dunn.
Thank you.
Check. I think I saw something there. Good morning. My name is Sally Bennix, bilingual in business and technology, and I am the human in the loop. As an IT or a technical business analyst, I build deep relationships to make sense of people, processes, and technology. Having accelerated delivery time from 2 days to 30 seconds for key financial and operational reporting, I translate business requirements into scalable solutions that drive business value. Sally Bennix. Target companies this week are Barnett Thrasher and Axia, AXIA. I have contacts at Wells Fargo and Texas Instruments. There is also a position open in my accountability group. We meet on Friday mornings. Sally Bennix.
Thank you.
Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Wheatley, and I am looking for a leadership position in the healthcare tech space. I'm looking for contacts specifically in the Philips company, McKesson, or Abbott. I have served in operations for at-risk acquisitions by helping them strategize sustainability and ensuring that their patients don't become inpatient. Again, my name is Elizabeth Wheatley, and I look forward to seeing how I can help you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Gerald Castillo. I am a senior RF engineer, and this week, actually, I'm targeting Toyota of North America. They are building private LTE network. And I have contacts as a support engineer. Actually, I made a lot of contacts in T-Mobile and Verizon. If anybody needs someone there, you can contact me. Again, my name is Gerald Castillo.
Thank you.
Morning, everyone. My name is Mike Belzil. So I help companies make better decisions using data analytics products that can convert data into dollars. So I'm specifically looking for a director of product management role. I am seeking contacts at Keurig Dr. Pepper, PepsiCo or USAA. I have contacts at Walmart, Epsilon, and Circana. My name is Mike Belzil.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Paul Husar. That's HUSAR. I'm a director, VP of customer service and/or technical support. Harvey, the AI company, not the guy, is looking for me. If you know someone, please help them find me. I can help with contacts at LG. I'm Paul Husar.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's James Jordan. I'm a sales engineer, so I'm the technical side of the sales team. I make complicated and complex concepts easy to understand. Again, I'm James Jordan.
Thank you.
Morning, everybody. My name is John Lee. First time here. I am a brand marketer. Most of my career I spent on the advertising agency side, and I am now looking for a marketing role on the corporate side. My specialty is brand marketing, and then I also straddle performance marketing as well. So my name is John Lee. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Wilson. I am a software engineering leader. I build high-performing teams and improve processes so businesses can deliver great software. I have contacts at Thomson Reuters and Texas Instruments. My name is Amy Wilson.
Great. Anybody else? Nope. All right. Let's go online. If you will, please raise your hand so that way I know to call on you and I don't call on you 2 or 3 or 4 times like I've done in the past. So please raise your hand and we'll get you called. Miguel.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jeff. My name is Miguel Castillo. I'm looking for a VP or director in finance. I'm a global strategic finance leader. Have worked in Fortune 500 companies, ex-Amazon, ex-American Airlines. Need contacts this week at CHC Helicopters and Top Golf. My name is Miguel Castillo.
Thank you. Steve.
Good morning. My name is Steve Rowan. I'm a .NET developer, retired. I have contacts at Fiserv and the VA. My name is Steve Rowan.
Thank you. Scott.
Good morning, everybody. Scott Boudreau, Certified Planning, Inventory Management. I'm in Central New Jersey looking for a supply chain job specializing in inventory control or production planning. If it has a part number, I can manage it. If it doesn't, I'll create one. Scott Boudreau.
Thank you. Kurt. Kurt, you're muted.
Damn it.
There we go.
I wasn't going to do that this time. I'm Kurt Schaffenberg. I'm your neighborhood systems analyst, programmer, and guitar player. I'm looking for part-time employment in companies that need help, companies that do good for other people. My name's Kurt Schaffenberg.
Thank you. Chandra.
Hi, my name is Chandra Thomas. I'm an administrative assistant. I'm sorry. I'm also was an image review processor. I don't have any target companies at this time, but I do need contacts at United Health and Nestle. And at this point, I don't have contacts. Again, my name is Chandra Thomas.
Thank you. Daniel.
Good morning. I'm Daniel Chibomba, a senior ERP business analyst with a background in accounting. My target company are Raytheon, Google, UKG, Toyota, and I'm Daniel Chibomba.
Thank you. Bill.
Good morning. This is Bill Allen, Executive Sales Professional. I specialize in industrial applications for manufacturers and distributors. I deliver double-digit profitable growth. This week, my target company is McMaster Car, and I have connections at KPS Global, Airgas, and Lindy. Again, Bill Allen, Executive Sales Professional.
Thank you. Verlissa.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vanessa Madden. I
work in the internal audit, SOX, and process improvement space, looking for roles like manager, senior manager, director of internal audit, SOX, business process improvement. I am targeting this week Ferguson and also McKesson. So if anyone has contacts there, that would be exciting. I have contacts at Grant Thornton, AT&T. I put all my information in the chat. I help companies understand and comply with applicable policies, laws, and regulations. Again, my name is Felicia Madden.
Thank you, Mary.
No mute. Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Mary Menser. I'm a Senior Director of Professional Services and Project Management for implementation for software and ERP space. I'm looking for contacts at Stoneridge Software or Revitalize. And I have contacts at Oracle and Epicor. I have my contact information in the chat. Happy to help anybody I can. Thanks.
Thank you, William.
Good morning, everybody. My name is William McLaughlin, currently seeking a business analyst role and currently looking for contacts at Dave & Buster's and Cinemark. Once again, my name is William McLaughlin. Thank you and happy Friday.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Sheldon Weinstein. I help food and beverage brands scale at retail through customer partnerships, shelf strategy, and team leadership. I built that expertise across the full spectrum, from large public companies to smaller, more entrepreneurial organizations. And I've led customer teams across both national and regional regional grocers. I'm seeking my next opportunity from the director to VP level, commercial sales leadership roles in mid-market food and beverage companies in that $200 million to $2 billion range. Again, Sheldon Weinstein and some target companies are Lavazza Coffee, Javy Coffee, and Chicken of the Sea.
Thank you. Ian.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ian Steger. I'm a United States Air Force veteran transitioning out of the service and relocating to DFW this spring. I'm a leader in enterprise scale transformations where I translate strategy to execution. I'm targeting, this week I'm targeting McKesson, Toyota, and Equinix. And my name is Ian Steger.
Thank you very much. Florence.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Florence Hogan. I'm a strategic research and market intelligence leader. I illuminate insights for leadership in complex, fast-changing environments. I deliver actionable insights that support strategic planning, market expansion, and customer experience. Again, my name is Florence Hogan, and I do have contacts at Globe Life.
Thank you. Sapna.
Good morning. My name is Sapna Shah. I'm an IT project manager. I have 19 years of experience in the telecommunications sector, and I am looking to transition out of telecommunications into preferably a government sector or healthcare. My target companies are currently Tyler Technologies and Baylor Scott and White. My name is Sapna Shah.
Thank you. Rosina.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I'm your Career Tip of the Week host, so I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm looking for a position as a Senior Talent Acquisition Business Partner, Senior Recruiter, or HR Generalist, HR Specialist position. I need contacts this week at Gartner, and then I have contacts at a variety of different companies, so as we connect, let me know who you need to be introduced to. Again, my name is Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Business Partner, Senior Recruiter, HR Generalist, or HR Specialist. Thanks so much.
Great. Anybody else online who I haven't called on yet?
I'm a late join. I apologize.
All right, go ahead, Scott.
My name's Scott Alexander. I'm looking for a role in IT product ownership, project management. I have 20 plus years experience in such roles, and don't have really many contacts or looking for contacts as I'm just restarting the job search after the short-term project last year. Once again, my name is Scott Alexander.
Thank you. Aggie.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Aggie Nima Kowalczyk. I'm in Chicago, and I'm a senior product manager looking for a senior product management position within CPG, gifting, e-commerce, spanning both digital and physical product. preferably either remote or within the Chicagoland area. And my target companies are Farmer's Fridge, Greetable, and Kettle and Fire. Great to be here. Thank you.
Great. Anyone else online?
I'm Peter Chang.
Go ahead, Peter.
I'm Peter Chang, actually R&D manager with 15 years experience in the paint and coatings industry. I think I actually landed. So I don't think I'm actually looking anymore. So basically, I'm happy to actually connect with people and actually help them actually land the next gig.
Great. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. All right, we will move on. We don't have any recruiters online, so we'll skip that. Time for the interview success workshop and Walt Glass.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Walt Glass, and I am an interview success coach. I have had a career in IT for a number of years. 39, as I was trying to remember, it's the Jack Benny 39. Anyway, so what am I doing now? Well, for the last 9 years, I have helped people in their interviewing. So let me ask you this question. How's your job search going related to interviewing? How much time have you spent on your resume and LinkedIn compared to how much time you spend on interview preparation and practice? Well, guess what? It's the interview that's going to get us the job. Everything else has pointed us to the interview. The resume gets us a phone call. The networking gets us a referral, gets in. So that gets us in the door. But how do we open the door? How do we get into that door? And how do we make a difference compared to other candidates? So I am a panelist on the PIT crew, and we'll talk about the PIT crew. Is Paul going to do that for us in a bit? So I've been a panelist on the PIT crew. So when you take the PIT crew and the interview success workshop that I offer, I think I looked at my numbers like 1,681 people over the last 9 years. And so I'll probably get to 1,700. And so I look forward to making that goal because I love helping people make a difference in an interview. And so what I offer is a free interview success workshop. Now, the workshop is informal. It is not a mock interview. It is a learning interview. And what are we learning? Does everyone agree we are in sales in job search? Everybody's nodding, saying yes. Some are asleep. But the thing is that if we're selling, we should be thinking about selling in an interview rather than just responding. Okay, well, I'll agree with you. We got to think about selling. So what are we selling? Well, when I was looking for a job after 25 years of work, I got one question asked in the interview by the hiring manager, and he said, Walter, what can you do for me? I didn't know. I was ready to go through my resume, throw it up on the wall, hope it sticks, and get a call. But nope, that didn't work. So that resulted in the interview success workshop. So I said, when I'm hiring people, what am I looking for? I talk to other people. So what are you looking for when you? Well, it's our personality, our soft skills, our culture fit. It's our experience. It's our expertise. It's our knowledge. And it's also how we can combine those to say, I can make a difference here and I can help you achieve things because we need something done. That's why you have this role in front of you. So how do we do that? So I'm going to put the workshop together. It's on Tuesdays. I do it on Zoom from 9 to 11 Central Time. You have to be registered to attend. Look at me up on LinkedIn. Look at my About section. It will describe the workshop. All you have to do is send me an email to my Yahoo email address. It is on my banner page. And say, I'd like to register, and I'll put you on the wait list. Be glad to have you participate. So I'll do 2 people at a time. We cover the 12 basic categories of questions. Then we look at approaches, structures, options, ideas of how to answer a category. I don't provide the content. You're going to provide the content. But how do we approach this kind of question? How do we stay positive? How do we handle certain things? My real objective is to get you to feel like you're really excited about going into an interview and that you feel like you would really enjoy working there. You would like this company. You would like the people. You would like that. And walk in with that interview with that mindset rather than, please God, help me answer these questions. So I'll be glad to have you participate. Congratulations, Chris. Welcome to the other side of the desk. Welcome back. Okay. Chris, would you say that this experience has helped you in your career? Absolutely, right? It does. It really does. So, okay. Well, today I had a job interview. I remembered to sell. I am, and I do. And oh, I didn't forget to sell. I help too. Now I am no longer in the job search queue. I am Walt Glass.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right, time to hear from the practice interview team. Paul.
Thank you, Walt. I'm Paul Hussar, and I'm so excited to talk to you today about the practice interview team, the Pit Crew. We meet every Wednesday here in this room from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., and we conduct mock interviews. We have a panelist of 3 interviewers, experienced hiring managers who have also had to terminate someone, and they will research and your resume, your background, the job position, and the company that you're applying for. Now, you can send in your resume and a job description to Ron Layton. You can find Ron in LinkedIn or at the Pit Crew profile in LinkedIn, and send him your resume and that job description, and he'll get you scheduled for a mock interview. It is a powerful experience. 3 panelists will conduct the interview and give you personalized, immediate feedback on how you did, with the intention, of course, of helping you better prepare for your next interview. We always need panelists. If you have been a hiring manager and have had to terminate someone, please contact Ron and volunteer. It is a very rewarding role. I get more out of it than I put in. If you participate at any level as an observer or as an interviewee as well as a panelist, you will learn a great deal, and it will benefit you in this process. Let me leave you with our motto: practice early and practice often. Thank you. I'm Paul Hussar.
Paul, thank you very much. All right, time to hear about the career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina.
Good morning again, Jeff, and good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. All right, give me just a second. My mouse is acting silly this morning. Okay, so with all of the talk about making sure you're interviewing and tying everything together, I'm just going to go ahead and add on the same thing. So this week's tip of the week, it's designed to, or this week's segment, I should say, is designed to introduce you to additional resources in the wake of how to stand out in a competitive job search market. And so I'll introduce you to Get Hired podcast and LinkedIn news, additional podcast guests, links to videos and book resources, all contained within this article. So these are great resources to help you educate you on tips and strategies to position yourself as the best candidate for a job. So that is this week's career tip of the week. It's how to position yourself as the best candidate for a job. And then this is Get Hired is the podcast is by Andrew Seaman. He's part of Get Hired and LinkedIn News. And then this article was produced in December of 2023, but don't let that sway you at all. The information is still great, and make sure to click on all the links within the articles because it takes you to other videos and podcasts and things of that nature. So one way to land a new job is to position yourself as the best candidate for that open position. Unfortunately, many people aren't naturally good at showcasing the right skills and experiences that would appeal to specific employers. So Andrew LaCivita, he is a leadership and career coach. He recently joined an episode of LinkedIn's Career Talks to offer advice on aligning your impact with an employer's goals. You can watch the full broadcast, and there's a link here to click on to get to that podcast. And then one of the most important points Andrew made during the discussion is that employers' goals fall into 8 different areas: revenue generation, market awareness, customer attraction, customer happiness, company growth, employee happiness, cost reduction, and process efficiency. And Andrew said that you can use these goals to help guide you and guide what you include in your application. And then you can get more specific as you learn more throughout the hiring process. Now, as far as the podcast, Get Hired Talks Back, they say job interviews can seem like a high wire act. You need to carefully listen to the interviewer so they know that you're attentive, yet also you need to be preparing for your answer. Well, fortunately, there are ways to do both with a little practice. And Stanford's Abrahams, he teaches people how to do just that on the Think First, Talk Smart podcast and in his book, Think Faster, Talk Smarter, How to Speak Successfully When You're Put on the Spot. Now he joins on another episode of Get Hired podcast to explain how you can be an attentive listener and a thoughtful respondent during interviews and more. So again, there's another link for you to go to. And then there are 3 other segments in this article. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go into all of those, but just to give you a hint of what they're talking about. One would be what to know about pay ranges in the job ads. Now that's going to be brought to you by Brandy Fowler. Should you hope all is well? And that's a quote by Gianna Prudente. You want to know, basically what not to say in some certain cases. And then how to interview as an introvert if you're an introvert. And this is also brought to you by Brandy Fowler. So again, like I said, I'm bringing you just additional resources to help you with your strategies, to make sure you are aligning what you say in an interview directly with the employer's goals. And you can find more from the Get Hired podcast and LinkedIn news. Hope you guys enjoy this article and have a fantastic weekend.
Rosina, thank you very, very much. All right, today for lunch, come join us at Jason's Deli. We'll be there about 11:45, 4801 West Parker. It's on the northeast corner of Parker and Preston. Come join us for lunch. That's a great way to get to meet everybody and find out more about what people are looking for. And it's a great networking opportunity. So come join us today at Jason's. If you want to receive today's materials, you'll get a copy of the speaker's presentation. You get a link to the YouTube video that we're recording now. You'll get a copy of the career tip of the week that Rosina just mentioned with all the links on it, and you'll get a copy of the Zoom chat. To make sure you've got it for everybody who's here in person, make sure you check your name off on the roster. If you're brand new, be sure to fill out the little slip of paper. And if it's legible, I will add you to the roster tomorrow when I update all this information and get it out to everybody. For everybody who's online, please make sure that your email address is in the chat, a minimum. We like to have all your details so we can help you in your job search. But if nothing else, just give us your email address so we can make sure that we get you added and you'll get all this information tomorrow. Here are just a few people who joined the call but never told us who they are email wise, so I can't add them to the roster. So if you're one of these 5 people, please get your email address in the chat window. That way I can have you added. All right, it's time for our main event. Mina Brown has spoken to this group many times over the past several years. I didn't go back to look and see how far back, but it's got to be 8, 10, maybe 12 years she's spoken. She's got a great book. She and her partner, Paula Asanoff, who also spoken here. This is a great book called Be Sharp. It's one of the few books I recommend that everybody have. The first half of the book all talks about how to tell somebody who you are, your 30-second introduction. And the second half of the book is all about the one-page bio. And the second edition of the book, make sure you get the second edition, has a lot more detail about the one-page bio and how it works. Paula has an MBA from Vanderbilt University. She was in the past, she's been a CFO and executive of a large public company. Now she's got her master certified coach, board certified coach, and certified Hogan coach. I don't know what that is. Okay. Well, Paula, thank you for being with us, and I'll turn it over to you. And you're muted.
I've got my mute off now. So can you hear me okay?
We can.
And Jeff, my gosh, it's good to see you. I don't know how many years. I mean, I'll have to go back and check because this may be our 99th anniversary. Who knows? Well, thank you guys for having me today. I love hearing your brief introductions and your requests and the tips that you got about interviewing. And this is just one of the, and I'm a big fan of the Career Network and Jeff and the whole team there. So I think they give you some fabulous insight and help. So bravo, Jeff. Nice to see it all keep going. All right, let me see if I can share my screen if you've given me permission to do so. Let me make sure I've got my, I have 3 different screens, so I've been worried this morning that it's going to pop up on the wrong screen.
Well, we'll see what shows up.
Okay, so let me, bear with me. I had hoped to come in person, but I have severely sprained my ankle, and that was not in the cards. All right, here we go. All right, come on, come on. There we go. Share screen. Do you see anything yet?
Not yet, just you.
All right. Let's remedy that. Share. I don't see it. See, this is the thing. Where would it go? All right, let me do this. Let me go to screen 3. Do you see my slides?
Yes, we do. It also has the next slide showing up on it.
So then that's probably the wrong one. That may be my control panel. We're going to share again. Share
speaker note.
What's that?
It looks like it's the view with your speaker notes.
Can you see the slide now?
Yes, now it's full screen on the slide.
Ah, thank goodness. Okay, great. Now let me get back where I can see you guys. Oops, wrong one. All right. So can you just see the slide?
Just see the slide. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So let me back up because that was the second slide. So one thing that is in the book, and Jeff has been a supporter and advocate for this book. We did write a second edition just a few years ago to kind of freshen it up and give it some new examples, etc. But a lot of times, and I did for probably the first almost 10 years of my coaching career, and I've been coaching 30 years, my strong focus was in career coaching and career transition. And I love working in this area, partly because it's where an outside third-party source can be such an asset. So coming to meetings like this and working with professionals who have been around this space and domain can be such a huge asset because there's so often we sometimes don't see ourselves the way other people see us, and getting feedback and collaboration helps us really refine our messages, etc. Well, the bread and butter tool in career transition, career search, job search has always been a resume, because you've got to have data out there about where you went to school, what your jobs are, what you do, what your job titles are, and when were you there, and all of that stuff. That's the data that they need. But as Walt and others said this morning, they also need to know about who you are. And one of the keys, not just getting in the door, and that networking may help you get the door, but then getting the interview, well, then getting practice, the 3 Ps of interviewing, just like real estate: practice, practice, practice. So thank you, Walt, for offering that. And but getting that interview, even in the interview, the subtle thing you need is for them to like you and respect what you bring to the table, and how you get that message out consistently and clearly. In the first several, I guess, first 2 or 3 decades of my career, I didn't have a bio. Not everybody has a bio. I think in today's marketplace, except maybe in a handful of rare exceptions, I think most professionals, I would recommend all professionals, should have a bio. And why? And I'm going to walk through pretty quickly the highlights of this. As Jeff said, you don't have to write down a bunch of notes. You're going to get a copy of these slides. But the bio is a different document than a resume. It's used in many cases to kind of seed information into your LinkedIn profile. It may seed information into other aspects of how you put yourself out into the marketplace. But you really need to have a smart, short bio that tells your story. That's why I label this subtitle to this presentation is "Tell Your Story," because that's what it's doing, but it's for the right impact. You want to get somebody's attention, and you want to do it quickly and efficiently. And there's so many applications for it. So I have a theory that why do you need a bio? Well, first of all, many of you have, from time to time in your job, maybe been looking for a job, even inside a company or certainly outside a company, when you haven't told your boss you are. So in some ways there is, and it's kind of that third area, but it's your personal marketing tool. And if you're not telling everybody in the whole wide world, I'm looking for a job, your networking can be very well supported with a bio, rather than sending off resumes. Resumes are, data. The very first part of the resume should have a mini story, but your bio is your story. So it is a critical tool for communicating with people when you're just looking at, and I love the introductions to different companies. People, I'd like to get introduced to McKesson, or I have connections over here at this company. Well, when you're just meeting somebody for the first time, do you want to just throw a resume at them? I suggest a bio is a better tool to use when you're introducing yourself, and when you're just opening some doors and things like that. Your bio is a better tool. It communicates a different kind of expectation, as opposed to a resume says, I'm looking for a job. I mean, there's no debate. A resume is, I am looking to be hired. But a bio is like, let me share a little about me. It's your personal marketing tool. I call it your prose style story. It's short, it's engaging, it's something that people can read. Even if you just read the topic sentences of 3 or 4 paragraphs, that still communicates more in a bio than 2 pages. And God knows these days, because of electronics, I'm seeing resumes getting longer and longer, and I think that's going the wrong way. But it does serve as a good intro document, like a little flyer for a marketing to market a product. They don't put all the ingredients on the front page. They give you a story about a product on the front page, and that's how you want to introduce yourself. And so when would you use it? I think I've mentioned a couple of these. When you want to communicate something concisely, and just the key messages. And you want to be sure that, especially if there's any anomalies in your resume, maybe you took a year or two off to go to grad school, or you took a couple of years off to look after your senior parents, or you were in the military, or there are various things that might have gaps on a resume. And you want to help connect those dots in an elegant way and not have them trying to do, guessing games if they look at your resume. And it's definitely, as I said, I think it's by far, don't use a resume if you're unannounced. I just use a bio, it gets the job done. And then when you're in an actual job interviewing or almost interviewing circumstance, then you share the resume, but lead with the bio. So those are some of the ideas. And just a very quick high level, and you'll get these. The resume is detailed, relevant facts, history, accomplishments, but your bio spins that together with some highlights and a few key accomplishments, but it's always tailored to where you want to be. It's easy sometimes not to have a list of target companies or whatever, but the first thing, and somebody called me a few months ago for some career coaching and wanted me to help him with his resume. And as we got to had the conversation, it was a family member actually, as we had more conversation, he couldn't, the first thing I asked him is, what is the perfect job for you? What do you exactly want? What kind of industry? What kind of job? What kind of, and honestly, he couldn't answer very many of those questions. And so my feeling is, well, if you don't have answers to the fundamental targeting type questions, not necessarily the company, but the kind of job, the level of management, the depth, is it HR generalist? And I love the way that was described earlier, doing various HR jobs, specialist generals, but that's still in a ballpark, right? So you want to be sure you've got that before you write anything. Don't even write a bio until you know what those things are. Because if you're fishing in a big ocean, how do you know what bait to take unless you know what kind of fish you're going after? So you want something that is targeted. So that's a whole nother, Jeff, that's a whole nother conversation about how to specifically aim a job search. So the resume very often, and when we talk to people, recruiters and hiring managers, more and more, they're not even really reading much of it. They're going to skim it. They're going to glance at the companies. They'll look at the years. They'll look for the highlights, but very often, and resumes tend to be in, I don't know, 10-point font and crammed to the edges of the margin, and it's so dense. A lot of people just really kind of skim through it and chick, 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 done. Your bio is very short. It's one page. Absolutely. It's not crammed together, tightly worded. And the art to making something short is to write enough that you've got stuff you can cut out. That's the best way to draft something. Draft more than you need and then start hacking away at the words that aren't exactly what you want. So your resume is job search. The bio you can use whether you're looking for a job or you're just inside a company making a presentation. People want to see your bio. Everybody has a resume. I think it used to be that only executives and high-level professionals would have a bio. I think that's misplaced. I think even to any kind of non-exempt job or tech job, I think you should have a bio. I think it's ubiquitous. I think it should be something you prepare. And so the resume gets you all organized on the detail. But more importantly, your bio and the way you write your bio is how you can articulate. And you have to think, how do I present myself? So the process of writing the bio is just as much a benefit to you for your messaging. So it's just great payoff. So just very quick layout. The resume, you know what that looks like. And like I said, it's running pages and pages, and just try to keep it short, folks. But the bios, it's 4 paragraphs. It's literally 4 paragraphs. And on a bio, you get to put your picture. And the reason you put your picture is that if you're meeting somebody for the first time, let's say you're going to meet them at a Starbucks for a cup of coffee, well, you've got your picture there and you can, they know who to look for. And also your bio kind of connects with your LinkedIn profile. And I'm sure you guys have talked about LinkedIn, optimal LinkedIn profile and how to set it up and all of that, because I had one client years ago who not even too long ago, didn't even have a LinkedIn profile. And I said, you are nuts. So you've got a picture on LinkedIn. If you don't have a picture on LinkedIn, you should, but you don't want to put a bad picture on LinkedIn. That's Paula's deal. And by the way, Jeff, I'm Mina, not Paula. That's okay. So I know we're kind of, the twins here. But then put a picture, have a few words, and then have some highlights. Also, Jeff, would you do me a favor? Because I can never monitor chat box while I'm speaking. I see there's some things coming in, but if there's any questions, please pop your hand up or tell me there's a question. Let me just tell you, there's a lot of bad bios out there, and I've read a few even on big corporate websites, and I'm thinking, oh my God, somebody stop them, get them out of there. A bio should have some personality. I mean, you have a personality. Let your personality shine through your bio. So some are just boring. They're just about data. They're just a condensed version of a resume in data, job, etc. Just facts, data. Some are just too long and they're tight spaced and they run a page and a half and they're just they're not readable, they're not engaging, they're not something fun to read. Some others are just 2 or 3 paragraphs. Now, if you're a public speaker, you need a good short 2-paragraph or 1-paragraph introduction so that when you're getting in front of the podium, the person introduces you has something to say about you. So some people need that. But a lot of times the bio then is just aimed. It doesn't have an aim. It doesn't have a target. And that to me, job number 1 in job search is be crystal clear about where you want to go, what you need, and how to articulate and I love, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this kind of a job. So the basic bio structure is a 1-page. It's got a heading and tagline, like some keywords. Now, the tagline could be your title if you're employed. If you're not employed, it would be the job or a kind of a title of what you want, the job you're looking for. Resourceful human resource professional, or something like that. Well-experienced cloud technology support, but just a tagline and then a couple of keywords, and I'll show you an example. You need your headshot, and by the way, you can these days, and I don't know if Paula's done headshot lately, but I had fun playing with an AI version of creating a headshot, and I will just tell you right now, it was superb. For a while before I had a new headshot with my longer white hair, I did an AI version. You load up 10 pretty good quality snapshots that you took in your backyard or the living room or somewhere else. You can even crop out your wife who's standing next to you at a wedding. So load up 10 really good quality photos, and then you tell the AI, I want something in a business suit or a golf shirt or whatever. And I'm telling you the outcome, $70, $69, I think, or something for an AI headshot, cheaper than taking the time and going to a professional studio, and it produces fabulous options. So if you don't have a good professional headshot, get one, take one, with a clean background at home, but pay attention to that headshot. And then it has 4 paragraphs, and I'm going to very quickly go through the 4 paragraphs in a minute. So it's your positioning paragraph, which we talk about in the first part of the book. your most recent job or the current job then you're in if you're currently employed. Kind of one big fat paragraph about everything else and a credentials paragraph and done. And then you put your contact in the footer as opposed to at the top of the resume. You'd have it at the top generally. But that's kind of that's the content of it. So the first paragraph, and let me see, I want to just show you a picture real quick. I think, yeah, that's what and this is a little dated, but it's still relevant. One paragraph, 4 paragraphs, heading at the top, a title, corporate controller, corporate officer, and then some keywords, manufacturing, risk management, blah, blah, blah. The first paragraph here is, this is who I am. It would be your personal introduction. If you were having a networking call, they might say, and the book, Jeff referred to, the title of the book is Tell Me About Yourself. You guys have to have a good answer to tell me about yourself. And if you don't have a good tell me about yourself answer, create that one immediately. Yeah, Mike, what can I do? What question do you have? I see Mike's hand up. Maybe that's an accident.
Just a question, Mina, in terms of readability, like that example you have there.
Yeah.
First impression is it looks kind of dense. Do you recommend like a more concise, bulleted, easier?
No, I wouldn't do bullets. I mean, so thank you for asking. And it looks a little dense because that's an 8.5 by 11 scrunched down to fit on a slide. You know, but if you saw that, if you were holding it in your hands, it's a 1.5 line spacing. The font is a wide open kind of font. If you did a word count, it's probably not over 200 words. So it's more prose like. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's no wrong rules. I mean, I'm giving you what I would call a foundation bio, which you can then use in 100 different ways. And I've got a final slide to show you how to do that. But get a foundation bio. And then if you've got some key awards, might be something like you were awarded the International Employee of the Year one year, and another really powerful award, another, and you've got 3 or 4 of those showstopper awards. I'd be tempted to put that in a bullet list because a bullet list is going to draw your attention to it. But you have to be very judicious and have a mission for why you would want to take away from the prose, which is I'm reading it. It's a story, to some bullets, which will call attention to those things. And I think there very possibly could be some things that you would want to put in a bullet format. But your foundation bio should be a simple 4 paragraphs, and it shouldn't, if it looks dense, if you were holding this in your hand and you were looking at that side by side with a resume, it's way more open and readable than a resume. Resume is, single space, side to side, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the comparison. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, is it Satna?
Yes, perfect. I had a question about the way that this bio is written. Is it preferable to have it written in third person or first person?
Thank you for asking that. For purposes of, let's say, your foundation, again, in our book, we focus first on the tell me about yourself. That's the first paragraph, is tell me about yourself. I'm this kind of person. I excel here. This is what I bring to the table. This is why you want to fall in love with me. That's your first paragraph. And then the second, third, and fourth builds out the rest. In your let's call it your networking bio, or a bio that you're going to send with a letter or something like that. Third person is generally and there's no hard and fast rule. As soon as you say one thing, there are going to be 15 people who disagree. But in our opinion, third person is the right way to write a standalone, handout bio. Here's the other area where that I would say that doesn't apply. On your LinkedIn, and I changed my opinion about this 4 or 5 years ago. On your LinkedIn, I recommend that you change it to first person. So I would start with a document, a foundation bio that can be all-purpose, multi-purpose, that's written in third person. John Mendoza is blah, blah, blah. John did, John had, John was recognized, put it in third person. But then when you do your LinkedIn profile, I would convert it to first person. And why is that? Because first person is, I'm speaking right to there's somebody actually looking at my profile on LinkedIn. They see my picture. They see that little section underneath that is your descriptor section. That's where this belongs. And I think it can be a little more lighthearted, and I think it should be in first person. So you're like trying to really connect one-on-one with somebody who is reading your profile as maybe a recruiter, or somebody is finding your profile on LinkedIn. So there's different applications, but I would start with a third person, and then I would use a first person for purposes of your LinkedIn. And you can make LinkedIn a little more playful too. So I think you don't have to be quite as formal. And I wouldn't write 15 of them for 15 different industries. I think that confuses the marketplace. So let me go back real quick and just talk through each of the paragraphs, because we're not going to try to build one today, but I want you, when you get these slides, I really would love for you to practice. If you don't have one, write a draft, get some help, get Jeff or somebody on his team to read it. If you do have one, take another look at it, review it again, make sure it kind of fits the purpose of what you need right now. So the very first paragraph is what we call a positioning paragraph. And it's the story of who you are, not who you were a year ago, not who you were maybe 10 or 15 years ago at the beginning of your career. And it's also needs to be interesting. It needs to make the case for why somebody would be interested in you. So the very first paragraph is what we call the prose version, the narrative version of your personal introduction. Who are you? What do you know that's special, that distinguishes you as an HR person from every other HR person, or distinguishes you as an engineer or problem solver from every other engineer or problem solver? That needs to be in that first paragraph, something like the secrets in the sauce kind of thing. And then those kinds of factors, essence, guru, star, that's in the first section of our book. That's your prose version of your personal introduction. The first sentence is your essence factor. And so that you should have, that you should have already written. You already know what that is, and you can tweak it and sexy it up a little bit. And I've given you an example there. And then the whole paragraph just kind of lays out who you are, how you can help them, and what makes you special. Let's see. Let me just glance at a couple of questions. Doesn't putting a picture on the bio yield biases? Is it okay to use humor? Great questions. And so first of all, there have been some maybe considerations about like bias. If I am a minority, or if there's something that I think might be a factor against me because of either conscious or unconscious bias out there, the way I look at it is, if you want to get an interview, they're going to meet you anyway. You are who you are. Put the best part of you in a picture. It's not like, if somebody wants to reject your capabilities or application because they don't like the picture because of some bias, then you're better off not being around that person. And if somebody is going to make a decision based on what you look like, ageism, a minority status, or anything else, the truth is, they're gonna either meet you and interview you or whatever. So it's like, how long are you gonna duck from that? So I think a good professional picture that puts you in a good light, that is well done. You don't want to put a crappy picture up there, and I've seen some crappy ones. But put a nice one, put a nice professional shot up there. And the bias exists, ageism exists, racism exists, anti this and that exists. The truth is, that's a world we live in, and here I am, and somebody who's interested in what I've got to share. This is me. So I absolutely think, because without a bio, and the statistics are phenomenally negative, and I think it's 10 to 15 times without a picture on your LinkedIn, and the bio in my mind connects with LinkedIn. Without a picture, recruiters and hiring managers skip right by. They won't even look at it. So I think it's 1 in 15 they will actually pay attention to if there's no picture, because without a picture, it makes them more suspicious about somebody. And it's like, well, I don't even want to talk to that person. So I do believe you need to have a picture. And humor. I'm a big believer in personality. I think the right kind of humor, cleverness, interest, reflects personality. If it's over the top, yes, it'd be too risky. But a little light touch here and there, that's not too risky. And I think that it shows a personality, a lightness. Who wants to work with somebody who's a dud? I mean, you want to work with somebody that's going to be self-aware and also bring a whole lot of credibility. So a little sprinkle of humor goes a long way, a long way. So yes, I'm a big fan. Is it more strategic to share personal bio? So Angie asked, when connecting with recruiters on LinkedIn, after they accept your request, they've got access to your LinkedIn. I would just start having a conversation with them. Your bio is already on LinkedIn. So and the equivalent of your resume is already on LinkedIn. I don't think you have to give them anything else. I think you want to start having a conversation with them and make it light and be interesting and start building relationships right from there, because everything else is right there on your LinkedIn profile. For clarity, as you work with clients, you use professional bio and spotlight documents. Each has well, let's come back to that, because I don't know what your spotlight document is, and I'll have to be educated on that. So I hope I got most of those. Okay. Let's move on. Then the second paragraph is really kind of like, what's the most recent thing? Have you either currently Mina serves as the head of, or the program director for blah, blah, blah. Most recently, or in her prior job, she did this or that. So in that second paragraph, believe it or not, you can lump a lot of information. And this is where someone asked about bullet points, et cetera. That's where summary of your most stunning accomplishments. If you have 2 or 3 just home run awards that stand out, that may be where you'd put a couple of bullets. Or if you've worked, and this is also where you want to be sure that you're talking about what is the value you've delivered to the company or in your role. What is your ROI? Somebody's going to pay you money, and guess what? They expect to make money by paying you money. So you've got to think in terms of the value that you bring to an organization. They're making a financial decision just as much as they're making a personality and fit decision. So those are some of the things that go into that second paragraph. Your third paragraph then is, and this is, believe it or not, everything else from the resume standpoint, except your credentials. So it's, you sum it up. I'll read a little bit about mine, and you can read the one, John Mendoza, the sample that we have in there. But you can just sum it up. Prior to XYZ company, Mina held leadership roles in blankety blank, primarily in the financial and operations area. And then if you have name brand, household, common name companies that you've worked for that are really pedigree, even if they're 15 or 20 years ago, do a name drop here. So my very first job out of college, and I won't even tell you how many decades that was ago, my very first job was Price Waterhouse. Most people in business have heard of Price Waterhouse, PwC, blah, blah, blah. At somewhere in my bio, I'm going to say she started her career at Price Waterhouse. Name drop. That's it. It's pedigree. So, but if it's not household names, GE, American Airlines, Microsoft, Google, if it's middle market or smaller business, don't put names in there. It takes up space. But if you've got a pedigree, you want to put it in there. So you can show that off, and then just a simple sentence about summing up all the rest. Prior to that, she served in a variety of roles in audit and accounting, blah, 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 blah. All right. Then the last paragraph, credentials. Credentials can be a variety of things, but the first thing to think about is academic credentials. And not everybody has a master's degree or even a bachelor's degree, maybe some technical school, maybe some specific certifications in their fields. So you start with the highest level credential first. So whatever that is, if it's specializes in XYZ or bachelor's degree, earned her bachelor's degree at this place or that, start and go in reverse chronological. Don't do bachelor's and then master, just flip it around. I mean, you want it to come up first, your highest level of degree. And then you shorthand. Don't try to take up a bunch of space writing out Masters of Business Administration. Everybody knows what an MBA is. You might have to spell out a few that are more obscure, and then that's where you can add certificates, awards. If you got trained in as a PMP, you've got a variety of things that you've done career-wise to be certified or trained in a technology. Put that into your credentials section. And then this is where you might also put, if you were actively involved in a community or nonprofit organization, or even military. This is a good place to put your military experience. Or if you lead something in a nonprofit organization, put it in there. But you don't need to list everything. Remember, you just want to list the things that are going to catch somebody's attention and indicate value that you're bringing to the organization. Checking my time, Jeff. All right. So, and then we've already looked at that copy. So I do have a couple of cautions that I would say you need to be circumspect and judicious about using things that point to potentially controversial or awkward areas. Now, if you're going for a job in a church or synagogue, and that's the job you're looking for, then you certainly would be appropriate to list your activities in a faith-based organization. Or if you're going for a job being a volunteer leader in a campaign, then you may want to list some of those things. Those would be the exceptions. But if you're not going for something specific in those domains, don't put it in there. There's no reason. It's like, you don't talk about politics and religion at dinner. I mean, you just don't in many cases. So leave some of that thing out. Just there's no reason to stimulate somebody's even unconscious bias if you don't need to. I did add a new sentence or two to my bio just in the last year to add a little pizzazz to it. So hobbies and interests can be included. They should be very small piece, and only if they're particularly interesting or they give you a flavor of your personality. So I'm not quite as strict about that as I used to be. And I do think because the internet and LinkedIn, and we've gotten a little more informal and people want to brag about different things, just be circumspect and share a dab of a policy. If you love golf, that you might say, one of my part-time passions is to play golf, and I've visited 19 different golf courses over the last 5 years. I mean, be playful with it, but be clear about purpose, etc. You don't need to say I'm married and I have 2 kids and 3 dogs. I mean, it's just that you don't need to say that stuff. So this is what I was talking about a minute ago. Create your foundation bio. It may be boring. It's the 4 paragraphs. You've got tell your story. Tell me about yourself. First paragraph, second, third, fourth. Write your foundation bio. Even if you don't give it to anybody, it is the fodder and the seed for all these other applications. So I'm going to go through just a very quick look at how you can use your foundation bio. So get busy writing that, and then you can use it if you're going for an executive profile. Maybe you're being considered for a promotion. They may want an executive profile. Many companies have a very strict format that X number of words here, 3 bullets there. And so you've got your foundation bio to help you finish a profile. And it's used in a lot of different ways. As I said already, your bio needs to be hot wired to your LinkedIn profile. You've got your website. If you have a website, or if you are listed as someone on someone else's website, there needs to be a bio. And if it's on your website or someone else's, it needs to meet the length. Now, it can be a little longer, or it may need to be shorter, depending on what the needs are for the page on the website. But you can take that foundation bio and quickly design a couple of paragraphs or something specific for a website. And by the way, I'm seeing more and more people in the job search world create their own personal website. My daughter is a graphic designer and has done a lot of installation projects and things. And so how did she get there? She has a stunning resume and her bio is amazing. But what I really loved was the way she blended all of that into her own website. She's not selling contract work, but she has a website that has samples of a lot of the work she's done over the years, and it's damned impressive. So if you're in a job where that has some value, either it could be legal, it could be the kinds of cases you've won, it could be human resources and kinds of projects that you've run, or PMPs and things like that. Consider having a 1-page or a very simple website so that you can add the fluff that you can't put anywhere else. You might be able to put it on LinkedIn, and you should. But you might want to have your own personal website. These days, I think it's really valuable. It's a bit of a competitive advantage. You might be a contractor. Some of you might be looking for jobs as a contractor. My daughter's on this contract with Nike, and she's been on contract for almost a year now, and they've already told her they're going to book her through the end of the year. So she's been on contract every 3 months. They renew it. So she's contracted to Nike. But if she were to have to do another business proposal, she would need her bio for that. If you're looking at board positions, both nonprofit and for-profit, wouldn't that be the nice retirement package? A PowerPoint bio, sometimes that's included when you're making a pitch or you're doing a presentation inside the company or out. I mentioned already a little baby bio, a little mini bio. That's an introduction bio if you're a public speaker. You might be part of in a brochure. You might have some products you put in a flyer or brochure, and you want to put a little blip in a seminar brochure or any other kind of brochure. You want it to be short and sexy. And then finally, some service business bios. And I could keep going. There's so many different possibilities for how you can use your core bio. Now, I haven't updated my pictures, and I didn't update them on these slide decks. This is back when I had shorter hair. And I've changed up my bio recently. So I thought I'd show you real quick what my bio is today. But this is just an example. On the left was literally a screenshot of my LinkedIn profile, maybe a year or 2 ago when I had short hair. And so if you go to the about section, and I think I probably had to slice, there's some things in the middle now. They rearrange things all the time. But then that about section is basically my bio. And then I have this little one pager. It's a flyer about my services. I'm a contractor, I'm an entrepreneur. So I need a little professional services kind of flyer. And so I created a little one pager that has some highlighted bullets up at the top, and then some quotes, customer quotes on the left-hand side, those 3 or 4 little blocks in the colored area. And then, but right there in the middle is basically my bio. That's my bio from a couple of years ago. With some headline, I've got a headline, which would be just like on my foundation bio, a couple of taglines, etc. So that's the way it might be used. So checking time. So these are the 2 books. Jeff mentioned the first one, which is B Sharp. The second edition is out. We updated we added a couple of really important new chapters and sections about technology and some other things. We also updated our samples and examples. There's lots of examples of bios in there. First section is tell me about yourself. Have an answer. Do not start telling somebody from when, well, I started my career in this time and then I did that. Don't go into a chronological litany. Start with who you are. Well, let me tell you about myself. Who are you and what do you bring to the table that's special? And then on the second book that followed B Sharp is really a compendium of some of the things I know you guys talk about a lot at Career DFW is the career strategy. That's like, where am I going? What is my target zone? That's the first section. And then networking and marketing documents, which would include bio and interviewing tips. And you guys have this wonderful free interviewing class you can go to. But some interviewing tips, some do's and don'ts about interviewing in preparation. And then the final chapter is about how to talk about money. People always kind of deer in headlights when they talk about money. And I'll just tell you, there's almost no right answer. So you've got to have a way to address money without leaving money on the table or kicking yourself out of the game because you gave a number that's insane. So that's in the Be Smart book. So then I'm going to see if I can share my real quickly my personal bio. Let me see if this will work. All right. Now, did it change the vision? Did it change the document?
Yes, it did.
Can you see my bio?
Yes.
Okay. So I was just going to point out a couple of things. This is I can't get rid of my word heading. So this is the bio I updated just in the last 4 months or so this year. So the top, I mean, I've got my picture, got my headline, I've got some credentials that I'm just like, love, putting all those little initials there. But they're specific to my industry about coaching. My title of the company, my email address and phone number, I put that at the top rather than in the footer for my bio because I use it in this one. It was attachment C. It was part of a proposal I sent a few days ago. And then I put my LinkedIn profile number, I put it right there. I think that is as close. If you don't have a website, put your LinkedIn as prominently as you can because it needs to be a really good display of who you are. And so then, and you probably can't read this very well. Let me see if I can make it a little bit. Can you read any of that?
Not really.
Huh?
Not really.
Not really. All right. So let me read a little bit of it to you. So who am I? Mina Brown is deep, and it's third person. Mina Brown is deeply passionate about coaching and the impact it can have on individuals, families, and organizations. For the last several years, she has devoted all of her time to coach education. She uniquely brings the learning alive with her almost 30 years of coaching experience, preceded by more than 2 decades of senior corporate leadership roles. So that's my attempt, and it certainly doesn't have to be perfect. It's not perfect, but that's my attempt to say, here's who I am. Here's who I am. And then I added in the second paragraph, I added some words that I think catch people's attention. Audacious and lively. Mina infuses the learning experience with humor, wisdom, intuition, and a deep appreciation for the way humans are programmed to operate. Understanding our nature and our brain's default settings is crucial for helping clients make big changes that require risk-taking and courage. Blah, blah, blah. And then students appreciate her unique style that radiates energy, enthusiasm, and spontaneity. There's never a dull moment in Mina's classes. So I wanted to capture imagination. And then I put my credentials and then more credentials. And then at the bottom, and I haven't put this in this is the first time I've put it in my professional logo. This is what I was saying about that little personal bit. You know, I put beyond her devotion to her students and the coaching profession, she is a dedicated senior dog rescuer and frequent foster fail. With 2 kiddos located in DC and LA, living in Dallas makes the travel for birthdays and holidays manageable in any direction. So that's, let me stop my share. Okay. So that's kind of the flavor I was going for, is to slightly tilt it to coach education, because in the past, and the one that's in the book and the one Jeff probably has, is about being a coach. And I've been a coach for 30 years and I still do some coaching. But right now I'm focused on coach education. So I needed to reshape my bio to reflect who I am today. And it's not just being a coach, it's being a coach educator. All right, so that is, and let me just put this last slide up if I can find my share button. Sorry. All right, can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so then the last thing, I just wanted you to have my my phone number and location and all that stuff. A lot of people are finding that, first of all, I think in today's market, we live in a gig economy and we live in an attention economy. Chris Hayes wrote a great book about how getting people's attention is the currency of our economy today, because the internet has so much, and every single person has 24 hours a day. And so the economy we're living in for a lot of things is getting people's attention. So paying attention to attention economy and bringing value. I think if you have a series of gig jobs and things like that, that's becoming more normal than not. So I wouldn't hide from them. And sometimes when you go contract, they'll move contract to hire. So don't be afraid of getting a contract gig. And you get to meet good people. And even when you take interviews, do more practice interviewing. More you meet people, the more you have a deeper Rolodex. So I think, and I am seeing for a lot of people who are in that last stage of their career, they're looking at coaching as an encore career. And so we're training a lot of people to become professional coaches, so that, let's say you don't want to retire, but you want to have something of meaning to do. So that may be an area to consider. If you love helping people and mentoring people and you've run a business, you might want to be a coach. So that's a good encore direction to go. So I'm going to stop here and see if there are any questions. How do we do on time?
Oh, plenty of time. We can go another 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, what questions and what questions does anybody have?
Well, Aggie asked a question: when connecting with recruiters on LinkedIn, after they accept your request, is it more strategic to share a personal bio or a resume?
I would always go with a bio, and I think I may have answered this earlier. Your bio and your resume is already on LinkedIn. It should be. All of the data about your jobs and more. You don't have a 2-page limit on LinkedIn, the more the better. The more, go, as much as you can. Fill in the blanks, put it on LinkedIn. But you definitely want that about section to be a concise, readable, really nice summary. Tell your story. You control your story. Tell your story in the about. So I would always lead with the bio. But if you've connected with somebody on LinkedIn, you should assume they've already read your bio, they've already seen your resume. Go from there and enter into a conversation, engagement, inquiry, curiosity. Find a way to engage with somebody. Look, if somebody's meeting you, if a recruiter's meeting you on LinkedIn, look at what their interests are. Make this personal. It's about, I want people to know who I am. So pay attention to what I put on my LinkedIn if you can. Any other questions?
Hi, Ms. Brown. My name is Elizabeth Wheatley. Thank you for serving our community. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you.
Three-part question. They're short and precise. The first is, I'm always trying to find a way to enrich the reader first with that subject line. Do you have a fun subject line statement that you could recommend that we utilize?
And are you referring to like sending an email?
Email or even LinkedIn, yeah.
Or LinkedIn. So subject, so let me come back to email in a minute, but on LinkedIn, what are you talking about in terms of subject line? Is it your title?
We'll just go back to email then. So
Okay.
subject line to email.
One thing that people do miss is that use that space under your name where it has title. And I'm sure that Jeff and his team have ways that they're communicating this, but use that space where it says, I might put Chief Financial Officer or CEO or CFO or manager of payroll or whatever. Use that space, whether you're employed or not, even if you are working at ABC company or not, use that space as your marketing tagline. Put things in that space. It has the highest hit rate of anything on your profile. So carefully and strategically choose the words that you put in that title space. Even though it says title, put the words in there that you want to capture somebody's imagination, and it points them in the right direction. It gets lots of traction. And then the subject line in your about section or somewhere else, you can start out by making a summary statement that might be similar to a subject. If it's an email, I'm a big believer in, again, attention economy. What can I put in the subject line that will do two things? Number one, catch their attention. Number two, use their time efficiently. So I put things in the subject line, even if the subject gets a little long, I put things in there that help them, that already processes some of the email that's there. So it's not just, resume attached, or it's not just a simple statement. It might be interested in or offering to blah, blah, blah. Right off the top of my head, I can't come up with one, but use that subject line strategically, because when they're going through their inbox, just like all of us do, you're going through the inbox, what do you see? You see the subject line. And if it's going to be just, my resume or resume attached or looking for a job or anything boring, put something in there that's going to catch somebody's attention and give them context for why they should open your email. So use that subject line strategically. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yeah. And I'm in agreement with that as well. The second one in regards to email is, instead of utilizing a document, how do you feel about a copy and paste directly into that email with your professional headshot at the very bottom? So it's not an attachment that they're opening.
And this goes to some extent to what industry. You really kind of lose control of the formatting when you drop it inside an email, when you just cut and paste it and it becomes a JPEG or it becomes a picture. and you don't know if your picture at the bottom is going to get attached to whatever they take out of the email. I'm a big fan of the attachment, but things have changed in firewalls. Companies have aggressive firewall. And if you have anything to do with healthcare, boy, keep it simple, stupid. I mean, healthcare has the most maniacal firewalls I've ever worked with. So attachments might be tricky. I would opt for an attachment first before I would embed it into an email, though. The second thing I might do is put a link to the document in a Google Drive or Dropbox or something like that. I would link the document, because then you've kept control of the formatting and how it looks, and doesn't look weird when somebody prints it. And then thirdly, if you do embed it, make sure that it's organized in a way that would be okay. But I would opt for either a document that they can open or a link to that document, because the link isn't going to get you kicked out of a firewall in most cases.
Okay, wonderful. And then the third part is in regards to the job application. We're already on their website. We're directly applying to their website. Do you recommend also attaching the bio in addition to your cover letter and
Absolutely, 100%. 100%.
Thank you.
I would, even if somebody says, please send me your resume. I'd still send them the bio, because the bio is the executive summary of the resume. The bio is easier to read. The bio, at least if they just read the first paragraph, you're making your marketing pitch. I send both. They'd be attached. They'd be joined at the hip, bio and resume. What's the downside? What's the downside? They're more likely to read the bio than they will the resume. Any other questions?
I know a person, and they said they would never send a resume until they've had a verbal conversation with the hiring manager or the recruiter, because they want to send a resume that is directed to what exactly they're looking for and not make it generic, where your bio is that generic document that you can get your foot in the door.
Yeah. And it tells the broad strokes of the story. It makes your marketing points. And what do you want out of this networking and out of this? You want somebody to get to know you. You want them to get to know you. You want them to hear about you and to recognize what the value is that you bring, for them to be interested in making an investment in you. And so, the bio has many more applications than a resume. And the resume, I would say, you don't need to be sprinkling it out there like confetti. Use the bio, use it to tell your story, and create one that's really captures somebody's imagination. Any other questions?
Yes, two quick questions, if I may. What is the maximum number of pages that a resume should be? And how far back in your work history should a resume be?
And who was asking the question?
Tim.
Yeah, this is Tim Farrell.
Tim, thank you, Tim.
Technical engineer.
Yeah, okay. Oh boy, I'll bet you if every person on Jeff's team and me and everybody else in the planet, we all probably have a different idea about this, so that you are not going to get one answer. But here's what I observe, and I think this is most effective. Resume, we need to be judicious about what we put on a resume. So you don't need to just have, diarrhea of the writing to just put everything on there. You want to put selected accomplishments that support your thesis. Your thesis is hire me, hire me. So what are you going to put on the resume? You're going to put anything on the resume that is evidence that supports that thesis, evidence that supports your claim that somebody should hire you for that. So if you were in some other role at some company and it's not relevant, find something about that role that was relevant, or just be really minimal about that. So the first thing I'd say is, don't just keep typing and typing and page after page just to get it all in there, because it's not all about a database, it's about a marketing tool. Secondly, I would say traditionally, now I'm very old, older than almost all of you. There was a rule that resumes were 2 pages. I mean, flat out 2 pages max, and a 1-page resume got popular for a while, but kind of a normal standard, and I'm interested in what Jeff says, is about 2 pages. Now, in today's world, very few people actually print it out. Some do. I do. I like writing on paper. So, but not everybody. And younger people are looking at everything on a screen, on an iPad, on a desktop. So people don't print them out. So there's a little more flexibility there about having it a little longer. So it isn't unusual to have maybe a 3-page resume, particularly if you've got some juicy stuff that you just can't leave off, or you have a really powerful credentialing section. You want to talk about your speeches. So you want to talk about different both degrees and certifications and awards, and that's a really juicy part. So if you need to go to 3 pages, you're not gonna offend anyone. On the 1-page resume, the only reasonable application for a 1-page resume is that if you have one particular specialty, and I have a great example of that, one specialty, and you've done it your whole life. And you've just gotten better and better. You literally are an expert in that. The one resume that comes to my mind was an attorney who had worked in intellectual property, IP law, his entire life. So he doesn't need 2 pages. He was at 3 different firms, and it was intellectual property law, and 1 page was all he needed. But I'd say 2. The key is be judicious about what goes on there, and I'd write more and then edit it out if that helps. I think that answered your question.
Yep. Anybody else? Yep. Hold on.
It was like 1 page, 3 page, whatever. Oh, and then if you have stuff like cases that projects or cases or like materials you've written, if you're an educator, you might have articles that were published and things like that. Put those things in an addendum. Put them in an appendix. Don't put them in the resume. Put them as an addendum, a list of cases, a list of special projects. Don't muddy up your resume with that.
Quick question. For the bio, do you recommend putting it on your LinkedIn profile as a separate attachment, since this is a broader?
I would write your about section again in first person and make it friendly and make it fun. And then I would upload your bio and do a PDF. Don't do a Word document, because PDF's going to keep the formatting clean. And if somebody doesn't have the font, you don't get into printing stuff. But upload your PDF as one of your attachments to your LinkedIn, absolutely. Because then if a recruiter is interested in you, they can just go download your PDF and then share it with the other person on the team. So yeah, I do think making it widely available, and it doesn't, even if you're employed, it doesn't mess up. If you're employed and unannounced, putting your bio up on your LinkedIn, that doesn't out you. That doesn't expose you as you're looking for a job. That's a safe document to put up.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody online have a question? Yeah. Yep. We'll get a copy of your slides. Will come out tomorrow as long as I have your email address.
Yeah.
Any other questions here? Here online? 2 things I'll add. I once knew a person, and at the bottom of the resume, and I guess you could put it at the bottom of your bio, they put the last line on their resume was "in search of the perfect hamburger." And you would never believe the number of phone calls they would get. He never got a job from it, but more people would call because they would all talk about where they found the perfect hamburger at. So, they're looking for the perfect taco, looking for the perfect whatever. That may be.
Jeff, I would add to that is, that probably didn't get them a job. But you know what it did? It got interest. Remember this and read Chris Hayes' book. This is an attention economy. So if I got your attention with some crazy, I'm looking for the best hamburger, but I got your attention and you engaged with me and we talked about some silly thing, where's the best trout? I mean, then we're engaging and we have attention and people get to know you, and getting to know you is all about networking. So I love that kind of a strategy. And if it did tie to the work, even better. But something like that that's catchy, I'm a big fan.
Right. Well, Mina, thank you very much for
Did you have a second thing you were going to add, Jeff?
No, I'm going to save that. Save that for
I
me.
interrupted you.
No, that's fine. So thank you very much for your time. Great presentation. We'll get that out to everybody. Next Friday, we're going to have open forum, being the first Friday of the month. We'll talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So bring your questions and we'll get those answered for you next week. And everybody here can offer everybody else's your opinion about what you've been doing in your job search. This video will get uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel. On the channel, when you go there, click on playlist, and you see in the lower left-hand corner, view full playlist. If you click there, up will come a list of all the different, in chronological order, the title of the speaker's presentation and the speaker's name, and you can go through and watch any presentation that you want. Just be advised that all the North Dallas videos, the speaker starts about 30 minutes into the video. Next Tuesday, for LinkedIn Tuesday, Terry Sullivan will be with us to talk about how to tell your key contacts and prospects who you are, what you do, and how you can help. There will be no recording. Terry doesn't allow it to be recorded. So if you want to watch Terry, you will need to watch it live next Tuesday at 1 o'clock Central. Next practice interview team will be meeting right here in this room at Christ United Methodist Church from 1 to 3 o'clock. They are in person on the first, second, third, and fifth Wednesday, and next Wednesday is the fifth Wednesday of the month. And then next Friday, we'll be doing open forum, like I mentioned before. Today, we're going to Jason's Deli. How many people think there will come so we know how big a table to get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So table for 8. Whoever gets there first, try to put some little tables together for 8 of us. That'd be great. For everybody else, thank you very much for joining us today. Mina, once again, thank you very, very much. And we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks. Good luck, everybody.